Welcome, everyone, to this custom deep dive. We are so glad you could join us today because we're looking into Princewill C. Iwuoha's book, The Architecture of Extraction.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's quite a heavy read, to be honest.
It really is. So, our mission today is to uncover the author's main premise, which is that Nigeria wasn't just colonized, but was actually explicitly structured as like a corporate extraction machine, from 1899 all the way up to the 2026 debt crisis.
Right. And I think we should note right up front that we are impartially reporting the source's historical and geopolitical claims here. We are doing this entirely without taking sides.
Yeah, exactly. We're just looking at the data presented. So, okay, let's unpack this. I want you to imagine discovering that your country wasn't founded by some, democratic consensus, but it was bought. Like a literal corporate merger for exactly £865,000 from the Royal Niger Company in 1899.
It's just wild to wrap your head around. And you have to transition from that physical corporate buyout to the actual psychological branding of the nation.
Which is crazy because the name Nigeria was coined in 1897, right?
Yeah, exactly. By a British journalist named Flora Shaw. And it wasn't some organic local title. It was purely a corporate branding exercise for her future husband's employer.
Wow. So just totally external.
Totally. And what's fascinating here is how renaming a geography structurally programs the state to serve private capital rather than, serving its own citizens.
Because it's treated as a corporate asset.
Mhm.
And obviously, a massive asset like that needs premium labor, leading to this very targeted systematic extraction.
Absolutely. The book points out that Igbo people actually made up, I think, 75 to 80% of enslaved people taken from the Bight of Biafra.
Right, because American planters highly value their advanced yam cultivation skills. So it was incredibly specific.
Very specific. And then they layered on this really intense spiritual warfare. Like British missionaries deliberately mistranslated ekwensu, which was a traditional Igbo defensive spirit, into the Christian devil to just break local resistance.
Oh, wow. It's almost like a linguistic computer virus, right? Like it was intentionally uploaded to just completely disable a community's defensive firewall from the inside.
That is a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
And that kind of systemic erasure didn't just end there. Post-Civil War, a federal policy basically wiped out Igbo savings overnight by offering a flat 20-pound refund.
Wait, really? A flat 20 pounds?
Yeah, completely, regardless of what their pre-war bank balances actually were.
So if you had 1,000 pounds, you got 20. That is just brutal.
Yeah.
And that historical economic erasure really directly evolves into today's structural sabotage.
Right, which brings us to 2026, where Nigeria is effectively bankrupted by resource-backed loans.
Which, if I understand correctly, is literally pre-selling tomorrow's unmined oil just to pay today's debts.
Exactly. And meanwhile, you have this $14 billion parallel generator cartel.
Oh, right. The ones who actively lobby against fixing the public power grid.
Yes. They intentionally keep it broken to protect their own private fuel and equipment profits. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, modern privatization without actual accountability just changes the identity of the extractors. The machine itself is still running.
Right. So why should you care about all this? Because this deep dive reveals how invisible modern economic tools like offshore shell companies and forced currency floats act as, well, basically modern colonization.
Yeah, it is incredibly relevant to global economies everywhere. It's not just a localized issue.
Exactly. Which leaves you with a really provocative thought to mull over. If a nation's foundational borders and economic systems were designed purely for extraction, can it ever truly be reformed from within?
Or does that entire, original 865,000-pound blueprint need to be completely torn up and redrawn?
Yeah, definitely something to think about.